Once upon a time, in a land filled with talking animals and magical creatures, there lived a group of friends: a mischievous raccoon named Rascal, a wise old owl named Owly, and a curious cat named Cleo. One day, Rascal came running to Owly and Cleo with a wild expression on his face. "Guys! Guys! I just heard the most amazing news. A new magician has come to town and he's performing the greatest magic tricks you've ever seen. Everyone is talking about it. We have to go see for ourselves." Owly, who was known for his critical thinking skills, raised an eyebrow. "Really, Rascal? How do you know that this magician is actually performing real magic? Have you seen it with your own eyes?" Rascal waved his paw dismissively. "Of course not, but everyone else says it's true. And besides, who cares if it's real magic or not? It's still going to be a good show." Cleo, who was always eager for adventure, nodded eagerly. "Let's go see for ourselves. I'm sure it will be fun." Owly sighed and shook his head. "All right, I'll go along with you two, but we need to be cautious. We don't want to be misled by false information." So, the three friends set off to see the new magician who was performing in the town square. When they arrived, they saw a large crowd gathered around a stage where a mysterious figure in a black cape was performing amazing tricks. "Ladies and gentlemen, gather round and be amazed, for I am the Great Magus, and I have come to amaze and astound you with my magical powers," the Great Magus proclaimed, spreading his arms wide. Rascal, Owly, and Cleo pushed their way to the front of the crowd, eager to get a closer look. They watched in awe as the Great Magus pulled a rabbit out of his hat, made a dove appear from thin air, and even made a flower grow before their very eyes. But as the show went on, Owly started to have his doubts. He noticed that the Great Magus was constantly checking his sleeves and that the props he was using seemed to be hiding something. Owly leaned over to Cleo and Rascal. "Something doesn't seem right. I think we need to investigate this magician a bit more closely." Rascal rolled his eyes. "Oh, come on, Owly. You're always so suspicious. Can't you just enjoy the show?" Cleo, who was always eager to help, nodded in agreement with Owly. "I think Owly is right. We should try to find out if this magician is actually performing real magic or not." So, while the Great Magus was busy performing his next trick, the three friends snuck onto the stage and started to search for any signs of trickery. They quickly discovered that the Great Magus was using a secret device to perform his tricks. Rascal found a hidden mechanism that made the rabbit appear, Cleo discovered a hidden compartment that held the dove, and Owly uncovered a secret compartment that held the flower seed. The three friends were shocked. "This magician isn't performing real magic at all," Cleo exclaimed. Rascal looked crestfallen. "I can't believe it. I thought he was the real deal." Owly smiled knowingly. "That's why it's important to be critical and cautious when evaluating information. We should always use our own judgment and think for ourselves instead of blindly believing what others tell us." Just then, the Great Magus appeared on the stage, a sly grin on his face. "Well, well, well. What do we have here? Little detectives trying to ruin my act." Rascal stepped forward, indignant. "Your act is fake. You're not really performing magic, you're just using tricks and gimmicks." The Great Magus chuckled. "Of course it's fake, my dear raccoon. Magic doesn't really exist, now does it?" Owly, who was never one to back down from a challenge, stepped forward. "That may be true, but what you're doing is misleading people. You're giving them false information and making them believe in something that isn't real." The Great Magus shrugged. "So what? People want to be entertained, and that's what I'm giving them. Besides, it's not hurting anyone." Cleo, who had been watching the conversation with interest, spoke up. "But it's not fair. People should be able to make their own decisions based on accurate information. And what about the children who are watching? They might believe that magic is real and be disappointed when they find out the truth." The Great Magus looked taken aback by Cleo's words. He hadn't considered the impact his actions might have on others. He scratched his chin thoughtfully. "I never thought of it that way. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's time for me to find a new line of work." Rascal, Owly, and Cleo cheered in triumph. They had succeeded in teaching the Great Magus the importance of being truthful and giving accurate information. The three friends left the stage, feeling proud of their accomplishments. "That was a good lesson," Owly said, nodding. "It's important to use our critical thinking skills and be mindful of the information we're given." Cleo smiled. "And it's always good to stand up for what's right, even if it means going against the crowd." Rascal nodded, a twinkle in his eye. "And most importantly, it's always good to have a little fun and adventure along the way." And with that, the three friends set off on their next adventure, ready to face any challenge that came their way. Days passed, and the three friends went about their daily routines. But one day, Rascal noticed something strange. People in the town were acting differently, almost as if they were under a spell. "Owly, Cleo, come look at this," Rascal said, motioning for his friends to come to him. "Something is wrong with the people in the town. They're acting like robots, like they're not in control of their own actions." Cleo and Owly looked around and saw that Rascal was right. People were walking around with blank expressions, not speaking or interacting with each other. "What could be causing this?" Owly asked, scratching his head. "It's like everyone is under some kind of spell." Rascal frowned. "I think I know what's going on. I remember the Great Magus saying something about magic not being real, but what if he was lying?" Cleo gasped. "You think the Great Magus is behind this? That he's using real magic to control people?" Owly nodded. "It's possible. He's a master of deception, after all." The three friends decided to investigate and headed towards the Great Magus's stage. As they approached, they saw the Great Magus on stage, surrounded by a bright green light. "The Great Magus has been hiding something from us," Cleo said, determination in her voice. "We need to find out what it is." Rascal, Owly, and Cleo snuck onto the stage, trying to get a closer look at the Great Magus's magic. But as soon as they stepped into the light, they were thrown into a strange, alternate dimension. They found themselves in a world filled with fantastical creatures and bizarre landscapes. In the distance, they could see the Great Magus, looking even more powerful and sinister than before. "Welcome to my world, little ones," the Great Magus said with a sneer. "I've been waiting for you. You see, I am not just a master of deception, I am a master of magic, and with this magic, I have the power to control the minds of anyone I choose." Rascal, Owly, and Cleo were shocked. They had never heard of anything like this before. "But why?" Owly asked, confused. "Why control the minds of innocent people?" The Great Magus chuckled. "Because I can, and because it's more entertaining that way. Don't you see? With everyone under my control, I can create the ultimate performance. The people of this town will do anything I command, and I will be able to create the most amazing magic show the world has ever seen." Cleo stepped forward, a fierce look in her eye. "That's not right. People have the right to make their own choices and live their own lives." Rascal nodded in agreement. "And we won't let you take that away from them." The Great Magus laughed. "And what can you three little creatures do to stop me? I am the master of magic, the ruler of this world." But Rascal, Owly, and Cleo were not about to give up. They had come this far, and they were determined to stop the Great Magus and break the spell he had put on the people of the town. Using their critical thinking skills and their newfound knowledge of self-control, the three friends worked together to defeat the Great Magus and break the spell. They showed the Great Magus that magic was not the only way to create amazing and captivating experiences. They showed him that true magic could only be found through hard work, creativity, and the power of the human spirit. In the end, the Great Magus was defeated and the spell was broken. The people of the town were free once again, and they were grateful to Rascal, Owly, and Cleo for saving them. The three friends returned to their normal lives, but they would never forget the lessons they had learned during their incredible journey. They knew that critical thinking, self-control, and the power of the human spirit were the real keys to creating a magical world. From that day on, the three friends were known as the heroes who saved the town from the Great Magus and his evil magic. And whenever they saw someone in need, They used their newfound skills and knowledge to help them, just as they had helped the people of the town. In the end, Rascal, Owly, and Cleo realized that the true magic was not in the illusions or the spells, but in the love, friendship, and kindness they shared with each other and with the world around them.